Hey guys, a few days ago on one of my videos I showed you some iPhone settings that you should never turn off or really consider never turning off. Well, in today's video I want to share some iPhone settings that I think you should definitely consider turning off. Let's begin. Now the first setting I want to talk about is under iTunes and App Store. Right here there's a setting that's called in-app rate and reviews. Okay, so in-app rating and reviews allows the developer to prompt you to review the application while you're using it. So if you launch the application, you may have seen a pop-up that tells you to rate the application and give a review. If you really find those pop-up annoying while you're using applications, then you should definitely consider turning off in-app ratings and reviews. Another setting you may want to consider turning off is under the cellular options here. If you scroll all the way down, you'll find Wi-Fi Assist. Now, Wi-Fi Assist is a feature that allows your network connection to merge with Wi-Fi in order to help you improve speeds when downloading something or using something over your Wi-Fi connection while the Wi-Fi connection is poor or weak. So the only bad thing about this feature is you don't really know when your Wi-Fi connection is weak. So if you have a tiered data plan, your data could be being used this whole time without you knowing to assist the Wi-Fi connection that you may be using, and therefore going over your data cap. So it's a feature that's really good, but it's also something to think about. So if your Wi-Fi is not that good, this may be using a lot of your data. Another feature that's very handy, but some people may not even use, is handoff. Now handoff helps you start a task on one device and finish on the other. So if you start an email on your iPhone, you can complete it or finish it on your Mac. Nothing needs to be done on your part. It hands it off automatically, therefore the name. However, if you don't own a MacBook, if you don't own an iPad, but you only have an iPhone, handoff is constantly tracking your surroundings to detect any other iOS devices or any other Apple devices to hand these tasks off. But if you don't own them, then you don't really need it on. This can also improve the battery when you turn it off, because if you don't have any other Apple devices other than an iPhone, you have nothing to hand off to, the iPhone won't be constantly tracking your surroundings to figure that out. So it's an option you may want to consider turning off if you only own an iPhone. Next up is going to be privacy, and there's a whole lot to talk about here, starting with analytics right here. Now, analytics is a good thing, but a bad thing at the same time, in my opinion. So share iPhone analytics, data from iCloud to improve maybe the messaging services, maybe the map services, iCloud services. This sends Apple data to improve services, any crashes, any problems. Your iPhone is constantly sending this information to Apple, but there's an about section here where you can read, and if you feel comfortable with having that on, by all means, have it on. But there's also an option here with share with app developers. So if you're having trouble with applications, it sends reports to developers automatically to improve the user experience. Same thing applies with iCloud analytics here. So all this data is constantly being pushed out to Apple's and Apple servers to improve the user experience. As I mentioned, messages, maps, iCloud, you mentioned it, everything on your iPhone, this data can help Apple improve that. But I feel like I should turn these off. I don't want Apple to use my data to improve their services. I feel like that's something they should do without my data. I think they should be able to do that. Now, as I mentioned on the privacy, there's a lot to talk about. There's also the advertising options here. Right here, I turn this off all the time. This is just to have a relevant advertisement inside of the App Store and other Apple core services to improve the user experience. So if you're searching for something in the App Store, maybe the App Store will make a recommendation based on your previous search. But I also turn that off because I think it's constantly just tracking data and the stuff that I'm looking for in my iPhone in order to, give me a better user experience, but that's fine. I can live without that. Now here under location services, there's one that I think should always be off by default. It's under system services all the way down. Right here we have significant locations. Now significant location is a service that allows iPhone to know where you're at all times to improve, again, the user experience, maybe give you recommendations and maps, and give you other types of information to specify where maybe a picture was taken, where you constantly go, to give you other recommendations. It's a good service, but at the same time, I think it's an invasion of privacy. There's also more information to follow up here that you can read upon. Apple makes sure that this information is encrypted, but I still don't feel very easy with those options being on. And all these analytic options here for maps, I also turn them off. I know where I'm going, and if I don't, then I'll just type the information where I'm going directly. I don't need the Apple Maps analytics to do that for me. So under privacy, a lot to talk about. Some of those features may be at use for a lot of users, but some of those could feel a bit of a violation of privacy for others. And those are some of the settings that I think you should consider turning off on your iPhone. Some of these are privacy concerns. Some of these are just annoying, like the pop-ups with app reviews and things like that. But there you guys have it. Just a quick video on some of the options I believe you should consider turning off on your iPhone. It's been iDevice Help, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.